Welcome to Conversations. I'm Muqtadar Khan, your host, and I'm going to talk to you about the final statement that has been issued by the SCO, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization's summit, which was held in Tianjin, China. We've been talking about that summit for the past few days, and I had made some observations about it that I will talk from an Indian point of view. The key question really was to ask whether the statement would mention and condemn Pahalgam or not. The first draft for the Defense Ministers Summit had not included the mention of Pahalgam. As a result of that, if you remember, India's Defense Minister Rajnath Singh had not signed a statement. And so there was no statement at the Defense Ministers Summit of the SCO a few months ago in China. But this time there was, and that's what we're going to talk about. If there was no mention of Pahalgam in the SCO final statement, then that would have been a major failure of India's diplomacy, and it would also probably have sent a signal that India-China's relations are not really improving at the speed at which we thought they should be and are improving at the moment. So this was the most important, for me at least, the most important litmus test of India's success at the SCO summit would have been a mention of the Pahalgam episode, attack, the terrorist attack, and condemnation of it in clear-cut terms. So I think it should not have been difficult because the BRICS statement already had this. So most of the prominent countries like Russia, like China had already signed to a condemnation of Pahalgam. So it should not have been that difficult. So I will look at the summit, and as you know, we've been talking about the importance of the summit. It has sent a signal that there is growing solidarity and unity among the global South countries. They are talking of different ways of establishing global governance. They are thinking of building new relationships, new common practices. There's now talk of an SCO bank to help facilitate trade within SCO countries, to deepen the ties between SCO countries. But it is still a lot of talk and very little action. And one thing that I would like to point out is that if you look at the statement, it is not many action items, really. There are lots and lots of statements of principle of agreement between countries, the values that they have, their vision, etc. So as far as I see it, there are two wins in this for India, and there are also two wins for Pakistan in this from a South Asian perspective, if you were to just look at the statement. And then there is something very curious. I'm very surprised to see that the attacks on Iran were not mentioned in this. At least, first of all, we are not able to find, I couldn't find the full text on any government website yet for the Tianjin Declaration. But of all the pages that are now available in the social media and various news media, I could not see any specific condemnation of US or Israel on the attacks in Iran, and Iran is a member country. There's also something that is going on with Iran, which is very interesting and puzzling, that in the final photo that was taken, in that final photograph, you should have seen that there is no mention, the president of Iran is missing. So there's a lot of talk that maybe he was excluded, he was not there at the presidential dinner. I could not confirm that. So there's a lot of this talk about whether Iran is being downgraded or not, and that is something that I will explore in the next 2 or 3 days, and hope to just do a show on that, whether the SCO members are now downgrading Iran and it's important, or they are going just after the current Iranian regime. But other than that, there was also a lot of talk about Iran, China, Russia, and Pakistan having joint discussions. In one of the sessions, these countries participated and Prime Minister Modi was not there. So there's a lot of these propagandist stuff circulating on the social media by different countries themselves who are indulging in disinformation. So there's still the fog of war around this issue, but I just wanted to highlight for those of you, and if you actually see something about specifics of Iran and the statement, do share it with me. Now, coming to the main topic as to what are the two major wins for India in the statement. I'm not talking about the whole Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the bilaterals that India is having, especially the bilateral with Xi Jinping. I think that was more important for India than the SCO summit itself. So far, there has been no announcement of a bilateral between Putin and Modi. It would be quite a tragedy if they don't have it. In fact, I would have liked to see a trilateral between Modi and Putin and Xi Jinping. It would have been like an RIC summit, but that has not happened. There were photographs and videos of three of them shaking hands and chatting and talking, etc. So we will see what that has happened. And as you know, it has also triggered a very strong reaction from Washington and Donald. It has been announced that Donald Trump will not be going to India for the Quad summit, and that would definitely kill the Quad to a great extent. It will become, I think, during Donald Trump's presidency, at least, I think the Quad is going to become less potent, less effective, less meaningful, and less prominent. Hopefully, maybe the subsequent presidents who come back, they recognize the value of the Indo-Pacific region and India's role in that, and then resuscitate Quad. So I was waiting for people to join before I wanted to say what the two wins that are very, very critical for India is. One is, sorry, not this one yet. So this is the one that I want to talk about. So this is a statement of the principles of the SCO summit. And this is taking into account the views of the member states. They reaffirm the relevance of initiatives to promote cooperation in building a new type of international relations in the spirit of mutual respect, justice, equality, and mutual beneficial cooperation. So if you notice that these statements of mutual respect, justice, equality, mutually beneficial operations, etc., these are the original SCO statements. These were also the principles that were affirmed when India and then Dr. Jaishankar and Wang Yi were having their bilateral in India when Wang Yi visited India. So mutual respect, mutual benefit, and mutual cooperation, stuff like that. But then if you notice, it also says that the vision of the idea of creating a community of shared future for mankind and developing a dialogue on the idea of one earth, one family, one future. So if you remember this was India's slogan for the G20 summit. And so in that sense, you could say that India here is now being projected as a visionary leader of the region. So you don't see statements that have been issued by the president of Tajikistan or Belarus, who are also members of this organization, or even a statement issued or a theme issued by the Pakistani government in this statement, or Iranian for that matter. And of course, then it also is accompanied by the statement that is issued by the Chinese, for example, one global unity for a just world, harmony and development. The word harmony comes from Confucian ethics and values. So, and then they also incorporated the UN statement, Decade for the Consolidation of Peace for Future Generations. So what this particular paragraph does that is clearly establishes that India and China are the idea leaders of SCO. They are the ones who are providing vision for the SCO. They are the ones which are connecting SCO with the United Nations. So the spirit of the United Nations, the Chinese idea of one global unity, on global unity, and India's idea of one future, one family, one earth are the driving forces. So in that sense, you could say that this particular aspect of the statement elevates India into a Vishwaguru, a leading leader in in the SCO. Clearly, that is an important. This is a big win for India. It's not a material win. It's a diplomatic victory, you can say clearly. So it kind of establishes that in the group of SCO, India is one of the leaders with China. There's nothing from Russia either. So clearly, China and India are the leaders of SCO, even though Putin and Xi Jinping are much closer. So this is one thing that I wanted to say was India's win, definitely. The second win for India was clearly the inclusion of the mention of Pahalgam, because the question should have not been important at all. Because, as I said, it was included in the BRICS statement, and many countries had individually also condemned the attacks on Pahalgam. But it was very important because of what happened in the defense ministers meeting. When Rajnath Singh was there, he was horrified that Pahalgam was not mentioned, and therefore he did not sign, and there was no defense minister's declaration at the SCO summit a few months ago. So this is what it says. Member states strongly condemn the terrorist attack on Pahalgam on 22nd April 2025. Now, for those of you who are just watching Indian media and reading Indian newspapers, what the Indian media and Indian newspapers is doing is that they're skipping the next part, which says that member states also strongly condemn the terrorist attacks on Jafar Express on 11th March and Huzdar on 21st May 2025. So what Indian media is doing is it's excluding the two terrorist attacks in Pakistan, which the SCO statement excludes, and then they're jumping to the next part, which says they express their deepest sympathy and condolences to the families of the dead and the wounded. They further stated that perpetrators, organizers, and sponsors of such attacks must be brought to justice. So look at this like this. Look at these three paragraphs and exclude the second paragraph. And if you read it like that, then it reads as if the SCO summit has condemned Pahalgam and has indirectly condemned Pakistan in the third paragraph, where it says the further stated that perpetrators, organizers, and sponsors of such attacks must be brought to justice. But that is not what the SCO statement actually does, as the media is reporting. And that's why a lot of people here from India who want to push a particular narrative tend to get very unhappy with me, because I look at the details and share it with you. If you look at the third paragraph, it is not just a condemnation, or it is not a condemnation of Pakistan. The name of Pakistan is not mentioned, but it condemns those who sponsored not just the Pahalgam attack, but it also condemns those who sponsored and supported the Jafar Express and the Huzdar Express. So it is, in a way, condemning the BLA. It is also condemning the sponsors of BLA. So now I leave it to you. If you think that the third paragraph condemns countries who are supporting those terrorist activities, then that condemns both Pakistan as well as India, because many Indians had also expressed support for the terrorist and extremist activities of the Balochistan Liberation Army. Nevertheless, it is a win for India that Pahalgam was included. It's not a big win. It would have been a big loss if Pahalgam was not mentioned and the Jafar Express was mentioned. So the two wins for India in this statement is clearly the mention of the one world, one future, one family idea, and then also the condemnation of Pahalgam and recognition. And it would have been it would not have been so much of India's failure, really. It would have been the failure of the SCO, whose primary goal is to combat terrorism and extremism, if it had not condemned that. So these are the two wins for India. So please keep that in mind. And as I want to once again remind to you that Indian media is not portraying it accurately. So that is why I actually used the screenshots to project this to you. Now, as far as Pakistan's wins, the two wins for Pakistan, which are very clear, is one, that Pakistan has not been condemned directly at all. There is no mention of Pakistan being a sponsor of terrorist groups which are responsible for Pahalgam. So that is, I think, not being mentioned is a win for Pakistan. Because that has been the goal of India's diplomacy consistently in the last few months, is to try to link Pakistan as the country to the Pahalgam terrorist attack that would justify India's initiation of the Operation Sindoor. But internationally, diplomatically, nobody has so far connected and condemned Pakistan directly by name for the attacks in Pahalgam. So in that sense, it's a big win for Pakistan. And of course, the second win for Pakistan is the mention of the Jafar Express tragedy and the Khuzdar Express. So there are two terrorist attacks that Pakistan experienced, and that has been recognized by the SCO summit. So those are the two things about the statement that I wanted to make it out. And I'm actually now going to be traveling. I'm here in Chicago at a convention, and that is over. So I plan to go back home in a couple of hours. So I thought I would do a quick live show and take some interesting questions if there are any. People seem to be more interested in spinning, etc. But nevertheless, hello Rajesh Mehra. Good evening to you too. Thank you for joining. Kahani, hello. How are you? Oh, that's a very good question from Rajesh Mehra. Does it show that, is it very useful? Yes, SCO summit was good for India in the broader sense, in the sense that you saw Modi once again hanging out with leaders, global leaders, hugging them and, holding their hands, etc., as he does everywhere else, which in India is often interpreted to be, oh, look, India is such a powerful country just because Modi was holding Putin's hand. Usually all leaders tend to have good relations, but it's only in India that it has given great significance in India when Modi laughs and somebody else smiles at him, etc. But nevertheless, you could say that there was a feeling, very strong feeling after the Operation Sindhu, that India has become isolated and friendless. There were a lot of such commentaries. But you can say that, to me, the mention of the one world, one future, that India slogan into the SCO statement, shows that India is still an idea leader in the SCO, unlike other countries whose ideas were not explicitly included in this. There are some other ideas in terms of practice that are being included from China, such as a SCO bank, etc. So you could say that the crisis has not ended really, but it has shown that, well, India can find friends other than those in the West. And one thing that I must tell you, this is something that India needs to realize, that India talks a lot about our enduring friends. So Russia is our friend, trusted friend, but it is India which has turned its back on the global South because it's sucking up to Israel and the US in the last 6-7 years. So it was India which was abandoning the global South, and the global South has not abandoned India. Thank you, Suraj. And I really appreciate your comment. I agree with you, WKS. I agree with you completely. There's nothing substantive has come out of from SCO summit. It has not done anything to safeguard India's interests or anything like that. Okay, if India's diplomatic goal is to get Pakistan isolated, it has failed to do that. If India's goal is to get Pakistan to be blamed for terrorist attacks in Pahalgam, it has failed in that clearly. So in that sense, there is nothing that the SCO has done to offset the impact of Donald Trump's tariffs on India. And in a way, you could also say that India's presence at the SCO summit may have led to Donald Trump canceling his visit to India for the Quad summit. Is that, I don't think, is a gain for India at all, because the bigger the distance between India and US, the more India will become subordinate to China. It will have no choice. Any more interesting question? Oh, thank you very much, World Periscope. I really appreciate the invitation, but I'm here in Rosemont in Chicago, and so I'll be just taking a flight in 2 hours. I will be leaving the hotel in an hour and a half, and then my flight is in a few hours. You mean OIC, which does not condemn Sudan? Yeah, I agree with you. We have some very crazy people here talking about burqas. I don't know what's that. I don't know what that is. Anyway, so there doesn't seem to be any interesting questions. So we seem to be attracting a lot of paid trolls here who are saying the same thing again and again, which has nothing to do with. So anyway, oh, Sultan is here after many days. We will talk about that later, Sultan. But right now, I just wanted to focus on the statement of the SCO summit. So everybody, thank you very much for watching Conversations. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. And if you want to become a member of the channel, you're most welcome. But definitely share this video with the others, especially because the mainstream Indian media is misrepresenting how Pahalgam has been addressed. And I just wanted to set the record straight. You need to know the facts. And after that, you can interpret the facts as you like. If you don't like my interpretation of the facts, that's fine. You are welcome to interpret it as you like, but at least know the facts as they are. Bye. Take care.